And ironically, big companies do not have enough talent to hire. And a lot of roles are just left like that because they don't have people talented enough, because way too many people who just do templated stuff. The reality of the industry. And you might have done something which you are not realizing is important, because again, some guy gave some idealistic portfolio out there and you are thinking that, oh, I don't have it, therefore this is not what is important. Amazon, I'm also making a bunch of screens at the end. I'm not like, my Figma files are not filled with all those information architecture diagrams and card sortings and a lot of artificial jargon which you see out there on the internet. You need to understand this. I am paying you as a business owner so that you are the expert. You bring in, you solve my problems. I don't have my design process sorted. I don't know what to do. You solve it for me. You become the expert. Don't worry too much about what will you write in your portfolio. No. This is what a templated portfolio is. This doesn't fit there. Bhul jao yaar, forget about it. The point is not about whether you are working towards exactly writing those things or filling that document. The point is, have you done this and become that person? Just now I met a person called Surbhi, who is working as a UX designer in a small startup. She was at Starbucks over here and I was sitting there trying to do some work. So she found me there and she might have seen me in some of the videos. So she approached me and she wanted to talk about, from her situation, how is it that she can grow. So she asked a bunch of questions. So the first thing she asked about is, she was telling that in her company, they don't follow rigid UX processes. The stakeholders in the company, product managers and people like that, they might not be very much aligned in following design processes, right? And a lot of people in her situation generally end up asking me this question, right? Hey, I'm not working in the right kind of a place because they don't really follow any design processes over here. So I would like to answer this question because it's very important, because there's a very big misconception out there that probably your company is not design processes, and every other company and in every other place all the designers are following a bunch of processes and doing great work for their portfolio. There's a huge misconception because generally people misunderstand what UX designers do, right? See, what I told her that if she is doing something which is meaningful for a business, she's delivering, she's solving a problem, she's putting her common sense, she understands the problem in her space and she's trying to deliver for it, then she's doing the right thing as a UX designer. There are a bunch of processes, there are a bunch of tools and all that stuff which we generally use, but the core of what we do is solve these problems, right? So what I told her is, even at Amazon, I'm also making a bunch of screens at the end. I'm not like, my Figma files are not filled with all those information architecture diagrams and card sortings and a lot of artificial jargon which you see out there on the internet. So what I was telling is, don't be fooled by what you think an ideal portfolio should have, and probably an ideal UX designer should be doing, having all those fancy processes in your portfolio. It doesn't really work like that, right? Your business has a goal. They want to build an experience for it. They understand the word experience, right? Means the business wants a user to achieve some of their goals for which the customers would pay for it. If there's a product, customer will come and buy something, and the product should deliver this experience for them that they can buy something, right? For as an example. So as a designer, you're supposed to build that experience, right? You have to design that experience. So don't get confused. Like creating that experience is the main part of what you do. So don't get confused about using a lot of bunch of processes and all. If it doesn't make sense for you, it doesn't make sense for you, right? So talk about how you, in your own situation, how did you solve these problems, rather than thinking that I am missing some of those processes which are lying out there which I am not using. You don't have to, right? And I give her confidence that even I don't, whatever is required, if at all I require some research somewhere, I'll probably get some research data. If at all there is a bunch of ideas lying out there and I have to sort between ideas, then probably I'll just get into a room with another designer or a product manager, and we'll all sort out with common sense what ideas make sense and all that stuff. And if you want to term it, you can term it. You want to term it card sorting, you can term it, right? There will be names if you go and search for it. Right? So you must also be doing it, but don't get another name which you might not have worked on. Let us say some tree testing, and don't try to force fit it, and don't think that probably your portfolio doesn't have it and therefore you're not ready for being a designer. It's not like that, right? So this gave her confidence that she is someone who is also, she might be doing good work, right? Because ultimately, the question I asked her is, for the work which you're doing as a designer, is your business getting benefited? She said, yes. that means you are doing a good job as a designer. That's it. You don't have to benchmark it with, is card sorting there in my portfolio, or is research and hypothesis there in my portfolio? Am I solving a problem because of which my business is getting impact because of what I'm doing as a designer? Simple. That's a simple way to think about it. Do you have a story about it? Talk about it. That's it. That's what your portfolio is. So second question is, she, as the discussion was going, she hinted that, how to navigate the difficulty, like how does she make sure people understand the value of design, and how is it that, she can get her ideas go forward, and how is it that, they don't seem to be offering her chances to follow a design process and stuff like that, right? Related to the first question. And then I said, and this is where I told her, I gave a perspective here. What I said is, what differentiates a valuable designer from someone else, right? You need to understand that ambiguity is there everywhere. Like, you go to any company, there's no product manager or no business owner who's sitting there who will absolutely know exactly what designers do, and they've set up processes in their company and given everything to you on the plate. If I just told her this line, you'll really love this. If I'm a company product owner or a business owner for whom everything is sorted, all process, design process, everything is sorted and everything is going very well, why will I hire an expert? I'll hire a bot, yes. You need to understand this. I am paying you as a business owner so that you are the expert. You bring in, you solve my problems. I don't have my design process sorted. I don't know what to do. You solve it for me. You become the expert, right? That's the most important thing. So there's an opportunity for you that your product managers are not aligned, your business is not aligned, and all that stuff. So that is given. Now, what did you do? What did you bring onto the table that they feel that, oh, this process makes sense. Oh, this one makes sense. Okay, this is where she's utilizing time. What did you do, right? And you might have done something which you are not realizing is important, because again, some guy gave some idealistic portfolio out there and you are thinking that, oh, I don't have it, therefore this is not what is important, right? So this is one very interesting perspective. And the third one, what she asked is, she asked me, how is it that, I'm applying to, as a beginner designer, I'm trying to applying to all these big corporate companies like Amazon, some Flipkarts and Googles and all these. She also used TCS and a bunch of service company names as well. She said she's getting rejected. So how is it that she can increase the chances of getting accepted in these big companies? So firstly, I asked her to wait. And there's one of the biggest advice I generally give. Don't be too eager to applying to big companies, let's say like Amazon or something, very early in your career. Two reasons. A company like big companies would hire someone who already has good experience. When I say experience, it's not just the number of years you have spent in your career. It means the time you have spent or the maturity you have developed over solving multiple problems and dealing with people. Experience gives you, like if you relate it to my second answer, as I said, people are difficult, right? If things are so sorted, then anyone can, but people are difficult. Things are not sorted in multiple places. So what do? You go and tackle them using your own skills, right? That is what is seen in an experience, right? So first you have to build that experience. That means you have to get opportunities to do these things enough. For going to a bigger company, which pays a lot, already needs this story, right? So I said, wait, don't be too, ultimately, probably 3 to 4 years down the line, you can get there. But to get there, the second point is important. That is to build these stories, right? What are you working towards to get these opportunities where there is a lot of ambiguity, and how did you solve it as an individual? Like, where are the places? I'll tell you some examples, right? Is there a place where someone like some product manager or business is not aligned in something, but you feel it is important, and how did you influence changing their decision? Build the story, right? Not just one story, build a few stories of how did you change decisions. Or let's say you have to do some project which your business or manager or someone is wanting to do from a lot of time, but they're not able to do it. But because of the ownership you have, you took the project forward, you dictated the timelines, you took help, you gathered resources, and you moved things for the company. Build an example, build a story like this, right? And this is where the difference comes, right? Because if you're going and interviewing in a bigger company, they're looking for these stories only, like people who can go and create this impact in a very difficult place. They can so utilize the time in going and building these stories for yourself, right? When you build these stories, you can talk about it. Don't worry too much about what will you write in your portfolio. No, this is what a templated portfolio is. This doesn't fit there. Just forget about it. You work on these kind of situations, you will become that person. And whenever whoever asks you about this, you'll be able to answer that with whatever examples you have done. Whether you've written it, whether you're not written it, it's fine. If you've written it, awesome, great. You have ready reference. Your memory, you might not remember everything. But the point is not about whether you're working towards exactly writing those things or filling that document. The point is, have you done this and become that person, right? So my advice is take time to get into these situations, even in a smaller companies, product company or services or whatever. Work on these situations, build these stories, and then go and apply to these companies. They'll be very much willing to hire you, right? I was also telling her, from your side, it might look like all these big companies have so many people and they have too many choices to hire. And it, ironically, big companies do not have enough talent to hire. And a lot of roles are just left like that because they don't have people talented enough, because lack of people who hold these stories and way too many people who just do templated stuff. The reality of the industry, right? Simple common sense stuff which they did themselves, taking initiative and made sure they impacted the business. Simple, that's it. That's all it takes. Hardly anyone. If you think you are that person, build a very good, genuine portfolio, telling your own stories and own your stories. I'm telling you, it really, really works. So that's it, guys. So keep this in your mind. I hope this is something which will really help you. So see you again with another topic. Thank you.